So firstly, the nature of the internet is that copyright acknowledgements are sketchy at best. This is the reason why I steer clear of using other people's images. This time, however, it's been necessary to include a few. Where I have a source for these, I have included it in the description, but most are unknown. If you are the copyright owner of any of these unattributed images, firstly, my sincere apologies, and secondly, if you would like attributing, then please let me know, and I will amend the description to include you. Well, it all started when the Great Northern Railway opened the Derbyshire and Staffordshire extension in 1878, which was a rather blatant attack on the Midland Railway's rather profitable coal trade, which had been doing very nicely, thank you, unopposed since around 1845. The line initially ran into Nottingham London Road low-level station, which was designed by Thomas Hine and had been opened in 1857 as the terminus of the Grantham to Nottingham line, because of the rivalry which existed between the G.N.R. and the Midland.
By the old canal, kissed my girl.
Later, through the use of a spur which ran through the new high-level platforms to Weekday Cross Junction, it joined the Great Central line into Victoria Station, which gradually took over the daily running.
Dirty old town, clouds are drifting across the...
Leaving either station, the line heads in entirely the wrong direction to begin with. Back in the day, freight was the raison d'etre for a railway, and by going south and east in an attempt to head essentially west, it gave the line a chance to take in some of the Nottingham coalfields. More of this later.
In the street at night, dirty old town.
So, I'm Tim, my companion is Ruby, and together we are the Owl. And this time out, we're tracing the route of the Friargate line. Welcome, please join us on the walk.
From the docks, saw a train.
It ran parallel to the Grantham line as it approached Netherfield, and then left the track opened by the Ambergate, Nottingham, Boston and Eastern Junction Railway in 1850. It then veered off to the east before leaving the Newark line and swinging north to go to Gedling. This is the point at which the rails finish, and we are left with a course which is very often completely obliterated by redevelopment.
I'm gonna make a good sharp axe, shining steel, tempered in the fire. We'll chop you down like an old dead tree. You dirty old town, you dirty old town.
Not much remains of the original track furniture, so a pedestrian bridge is a welcome sight. In fact, one of the things which caught my attention about the whole track bed within the city was the security and the inaccessibility of it. The vast majority of the track bed is firmly behind security fencing. It is around this area that the massive Collick sidings were built to handle the freight, predominantly coal, which would be processed before being sent around the country. On the 1st of February 1876, Gedling got a station on the G.N.R. It lasted until the 4th of April 1960, when it closed. Not particularly interesting during its commercial working life, it has recently been restored by a youth group as the Gedling Youth and Community Hub. Quite impressive at 1,132 yards in length is Mapley Tunnel. This, the eastern portal, is the only survivor, opened in 1875. However, on the 23rd of January 1925, subsidence due to mining works happened. The tunnel was repaired, but the mining was always a threat, and eventually the tunnel closed in 1960, and the traffic was diverted along the Nottingham suburban lines. Since then, a large amount of rubbish has been thrown down one of the air shafts, causing a large and unstable pile reaching to the ceiling. This is what is still visible of the tunnel's western portal, which has been very effectively filled in. There are still traces of the cutting though, although the whole area is pretty much overgrown now. And now we head for Daybrook. A small and apparently insignificant ginnel on Greendale Road was once where the mighty steam engines hauled large coal trains, but now it's just a convenient shortcut through an estate, allowing us shorter access to the shops. Rather interestingly, and for no very obvious reason, the council have chosen to site totems at this location. They appear to have symbols on them depicting the hugely important mining industry which thrived in this area and brought everything, including prosperity, squalor, power and early deaths to many of the people, yet which is strangely missed by all even now. Opened in 1876, Daybrook Station lasted until 1960 when it closed to passengers. Sited between Baseford North and Gedling and Carlton, nothing remains of this now. Almost all of the remnants of the railway are now gone. New housing and businesses are well ensconced after all these years, as people's memories of those days now long gone fade even further into the dimness of the past. Just when you start to think that all traces of history have been deleted, a gem will appear in the distance, in this case in the shape of the Hucknall Road Bridge. From the road it's almost unnoticeable, however, here on trackside it makes the morning walk worthwhile. This is where the G.N.R's Lean Valley line broke away to the north, and where, just a few yards along, the Great Central Railway would cross over from south to north. New Baseford Station, or Baseford, was the next in line under many different names. Opened in 1876, it became Baseford and Baseford and Bulwell, then Baseford North, before succumbing to closure in September of 1964. So we move along Lovers Walk. Here the Babington branch would head south towards Babington, Cinderhill and the links to other mineral railways in the area. Such a plethora of intertwined railway lines smothered the ground as the G.N.R and the Midlands sought to compete with one another in the race to get the coal. Inside the city boundary of Nottingham lay Cinderhill Brickworks and Babington Colliery, opened in 1841. It's worthy of note that Babington was the country's first full-scale mine. A long and prosperous heritage was to be its legacy, until it finally closed in 1986. Only the spoil heap remains, that and the Phoenix Park tram terminus. The now non-existent track of the Friargate line once ran to the north of it, both now a distant memory. So that's it for part 1, I'm afraid. As usual, we have to leave you. Please consider a like and a subscription to the channel, it really helps. And please return to see part 2, when Ruby and I head out of Nottingham towards 40 Bridges and Benley Viaduct. In the meantime, take care of yourself. See you later.